How many of you guys feel like pigeon supplements are more for the pigeons? Or how many of you guys feel like supplements are more for the fancier to make them feel good about what they're doing for their pigeons? My personal take is that there are some products that are absolutely essential, and then there are some that are, I think, companies trying to sell you snake oil. I want you to leave down in the comments down below if there are products you guys think are essential and which ones are not. I'm very curious about that. Okay, so new thing that I'm trying now is ideal pills every morning for the babies. So we're gonna give this a try. I'll show you how I do it. It's very simple. I'm sure all of you guys have done something like this before, giving meds or whatever. So we'll run through a few birds and give ideal pills. Hopefully makes a difference. All right, Mama. I know, it's stressful. There you go. They smell nice. They smell like a vitamin I would take. All right, so we just gently open the mouth, gently slide that down in, and they generally take it on their own. Sometimes they reject it, but little babies don't usually. And you just gotta push it down again. Like that one fought it a little bit, but down it goes. Okay, that's one set of babies. Let's do a couple more. Hello, little ones. All right, my hand's gonna be in the way. Here, let's do this. Okay, here we go. Just like that. Easy peasy. Nothing to it. There you go. Could have a vitamin. All right, Mom. We got to get you out of the way, sweetie. So something that's interesting of note, we're always looking for birds with white sears to demonstrate their health. I don't know if you can see it, but this bird's sear is kind of pink and broken up a little bit. I am not worried about that one bit because two things. I have oregano oil in the water and they get a little bit of oil on there and it changes its color. And two, they're feeding that to the babies and it kind of can do that to the sear. So during breeding season, when they're feeding babies, that sear is not as important to me as it is during the rest of the season. And yeah, get your vitamins. Hello, baby. Very good. Next. There we go. Down it goes. Yeah, they usually take them pretty easy. All right, next one. Okay. So I don't really mind doing this, but this is rather time consuming and a little bit of a pain in the butt because you have to manhandle every bird. Yeah, this one's fighting. He does not want to take that. Down it goes. So tell me what you guys think. Is handling the birds every single morning like this to give them vitamins stressful for them? Or is it not worth it? All I can say is that Paul Daniels uses it every single morning. And I mean, his race record shows it works really well. So, all right, let's do a couple more. So I am not going to show you guys me doing this to all 30 birds. That would be ridiculous. So I'll just do this one more, and then I'm going to go do this to the rest. Okay, that one's done. Okay. Now, I want you guys to see something here. Okay, I just dropped that. Let's try that again. Boop. Crack that beak open. Down you go. All right, I want to show you guys something here. With all the products that I use and everything, I just cleaned this, and this little dropping is fresh. This is brand new, as in within the last 20 minutes. And it is dry, tight little round ball. Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. Babies are looking really good this year. Super stoked about that. Hello. Okay. Today, I'm going to talk about all the supplements that I use, specifically right now for the breeding season. So I've got most of what I have and use here in front of me, and I'm just going to go through them and show you what I use, what I really like, some things that I don't care for. Yeah, so hopefully this is helpful for some of you guys. I can see what I use to keep my birds healthy and to give my babies every opportunity they have to have success. All right, so first things first, we're going to start on this side, kind of move down, and we'll go through a few things. So I have my feed with me here today. This is just my bowl of feed. I've got some olive oil on there. I like to mix up what oils I use, but I use olive oil. I don't use avocado oil because I've heard that that one is toxic to pigeons. So any of the other major common oils is fine. So, all right, so I've got some oil on here. Mix this stuff up. Okay, now get these out of the way. A couple of products that I will use on the feed. Tolumin Forte. This is a amino acid complex, absolutely vital for babies to grow and develop their muscles and tissues as best as possible. So I use this one 3-4 days a week. If I do more than that, I'll use half strength. So sometimes I'll do 5 days a week at half strength. So there's that. Love this stuff. So far, it's proving to do really well for me. And I will put that either on the feed or in the water, one or the other. Okay, so there's the oil. Get that out of the way. Another one that I will do is the E-Col tonic. This seems to work really well. Unfortunately, it's rather expensive, so I don't use it a ton, but it works really good. So this is the E-Col tonic from Seagull Pigeons. Great stuff. Works really well. It helps dry up their droppings. Okay. This is something that Frank McLaughlin introduced me to. This is oregano oil with cinnamon. And so far it works really well. It's probably one of the better oregano products that I've found. You can put it on the feed or in the water. Usually oils don't mix with water, but this one does. It's got an emulsifier in it, so that works really good. Yeah. So that guy, from the same company, I use a probiotic that is supposed to be able to last up to 3 years before it starts to lose any integrity. And then they advertise it as being able to withstand really acidic environments before it breaks down. So when you add acidifier to the water and you put this in there, it doesn't break down. It doesn't bother it at all. But it's been great. I've had healthy birds since I started using this one. Okay, probiotics. I have a few other probiotics in here. There's this one, has a probiotic to it. King makes this one. It works really well, but my birds don't actually like this. Whenever it's in the water, they don't drink it as often, as readily. But if you were to use it consistently, I think they would probably get over that and use it. But one little side note about amino acids, they stink. They're supposed to stink. So when you use these products, the water doesn't smell good. Say something like Castle acidifier. That one actually smells really nice, but it doesn't have amino acids in it. And if you have an amino acid product that doesn't smell bad, it means you don't have quality amino acids in there. So, yeah, there's that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Another probiotic. I've used several over the years. Of all of them, this one seems to have worked the least, but that's just my experience. It still could work very well. So, this one is a Vetifarm probiotic for birds specifically. All right, let's see. Moving along. Here's some breeder advantage from Castle products. I use this one readily every year. I think it's based off of brewer's yeast stuff, base, and it works really well. Really high in protein, 22% protein. So it can help those, and a few vitamins, minerals, and probiotics. So that's another somewhat of a probiotic. Love that one. All right, let's see if I can make some room here. Okay, so I've got my feed in front of me, and today I'm going to be doing some brewer's yeast. So I'm just going to mix this on there. Decent sized scoop. There. And where is it? I'm going to use my pink mineral mixture. This is not so this is a bottle. It's an empty bottle that I used all of. But then I mix my own pink mineral mix, and I'm going to go over what I do to make this. It's got a lot of stuff in it. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that over the feed. And we'll mix that up. And then I'm going to give this mixture to the birds 2-3 times a week during the breeding season. They go through a lot of products when they're laying their babies and raising them. And it's good for them to have access to as much as they want at all times. So, yeah. Okay, I'll be giving that to them here in a minute. So, while we're here, let's do a couple more products here. So, everybody knows about this one. It's Red Cell. I use that once a week, maybe. Works fairly well from what I can tell. So I use that. Now, a little side note on all of these products. I don't use them all the time. I've had conversations with a pigeon vet in Belgium who says that it's very common for our birds to get kidney and liver overload and they become toxic. And so I don't go crazy with this stuff. I use it a little bit here and there, but I just make sure they have access to it. I'll leave it free in the loft so that they can use that. But I don't want to essentially poison my birds by giving them too much of this stuff. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, let's see. What do we got here? Another probiotic. So I have several different kinds of probiotics. I think it's important to vary which ones you give. Let's just say I was to give this 3 times a week, every week, all the time. Then this becomes the predominant bacteria in them, and all the native bacteria gets overpowered by all of this. So I like to use this sometimes. I'll use my other probiotics at other times, and then I'll use this probiotic at times. And then, yeah, so I just alternate which ones I use so that they have a variety. I don't think any one product can have every type of bacteria that a bird's supposed to have. So yeah, I do that. And then let's go over what I put in my mineral mix, okay? There's a lot of stuff in there. So the base of it is natural vitamin. Love this stuff. The birds actually love it during the breeding season. During the off season, they don't seem to eat very much of it, but right now they're going through a lot of it. They're just eating it free and giving it to their babies. So that's the base. I use that. So I put that in the container. I've already got a bunch mixed up, so I'm not going to mix any right now. All right, so that's the base. During the breeding season, I make sure I mix that with calcium mineral. Make sure they have all the calcium they need so that the eggs can produce well, they don't become deficient, and the babies get everything they need to grow really strong bones. Sorry about the dogs. The neighbors got their dogs out. Hope that's not too loud. Okay, so I put the pink mineral, I put the calcium mineral, brewer's yeast. I put that in there. Most of the vitamin and mineral products, they do not have vitamin B and amino acids. This one has it. So I always make sure to have a good amount of this in there. Very important one. All right, cruising along. This is the VitaKing Energy Powder. That's formula powder. So this is intended to give the birds some energy. It's like a glucose or a sugar-based product so that during the breeding season when things get tired, second, third round, and they're worn out, I make sure they have a little bit of this in there to keep their energy levels up. So that one's important too. So that goes in the mineral mix. So pink minerals, brewer's yeast, calcium mineral, and this one. Okay. Vitaprene. I do this one because it has what's needed for feather growth. And, you know, of course, the babies are producing lots of feathers really, really fast. So I make sure they have this powder in the mineral mix. Now, this one is usually intended to go in the water, but I just always make sure that the birds have this when they're breeding. All right. The next one is saline powder. Saline powder. It's a little bit of mineral with charcoal and salt. And I've left this one in pick pots, and they seem to pick out this stuff over some of the grits that are in the mineral or in the pick pots. So they do like this one. So this goes in the mineral mix as well. Let's see what else. This is the Kilpatrick's black mineral. Has a little charcoal in it. I don't give a ton of this one, but it has all the vitamins and minerals and a little bit of salt along with it. And so I know that the salt is really good for them, and I let them have free choice of just this by themselves in a pick pot. But yeah, I throw that one in there, but not as much. The percentage of that one is a lot lower. Speaking of that, the percentages of each of these that I put in there, I don't measure, I don't calculate 20% this one, 20% that one, 5% this one. I just eyeball it. I put it in there. I don't think there's any perfect way to do that, but so that's the other thing that goes in the pink mineral mix. Okay. I have, there's no label on this one, but this is from Jed's. This is the salt mineral very, very sparingly do I put this in there, like a teaspoon for a quart, if that. Not very much. I don't want them to overdo it on the salt. So salt can be really important for them, but it can also be very toxic if they get too much. So all this salt stuff, I do very minimally, very little. So but I do put that one in there in small amounts. Okay. What else do we have? I think that is, oh, that's not it. So yeah, I think that's what I put in my mineral mix. That's all of it. And I put that in a pick pot and have it available for them all day. And they go to town on it. They love the stuff. So, all right, what else? Something else that I'm starting to do. I did an interview with Paul Daniels. If you haven't seen that one, go back and check that out. It's pretty good. These are ideal peels. A lot of people say that these are really good for your birds. And I can't tell the difference, honestly, but if I can provide the opportunity for them to get everything they need, I do. So what Paul does at Flying D Loft is he gives one of these every single morning to every single baby. So I've started doing that. We're going to see if it makes a difference. I know a lot of people out there feel like it does, and so I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. So there's that one. Ideal pills. One other thing for the water. Apple cider vinegar. This one's from Costco. It's a United States-based warehouse store. I don't know what you call it. Massive grocery store. Really good quality stuff. So I use that one. Okay, now we are on to the grits. I use a grit mixture, and of course, one of the things I use are pick pots. This one's a Versalalaga pickstone, red pickstone. I don't have it here in front of me, but I use the red one, and I also use the white one. It seems to me like the birds like the white one better, at least in my loft. I'm curious if you guys have any, if the birds show any preference for you guys, which ones they prefer, but I provide them both. So there's that. These are mineral blocks. I snap these in half and I provide those, let them pick at those. Okay, now get this stuff out of the way. So much crap. Versalalaga all-in-one grit is the base for my grit mix. But I don't feed this straight. I want to make sure, I know that this has pretty much everything in it, but I like to provide even more variety. So I give them this one mixed with, oh, I have it back, a few other things. So this is the Columbine Redstone, upside down. There you go. Now you can see it. All right, the Columbine pickstone with redstone grit. So that one I use. I mix that one in there. This one is the seaweed. I don't know if you can read that. This is the seaweed grit. I mix that one in there. I don't have it in front of me, but I also use the magnesium chalk blocks. And that one I actually think that's another one that goes in my that's another one that goes in my mineral mix is the magnesium chalk blocks. It's what gymnasts use or rock climbers use to dry their hands for their sport, but it's really high in magnesium, so I make sure and provide that for the birds. That one actually goes in the mineral mix. So, all right. So as far as grits go, I think that's it. I use those three things mixed together. I haven't tried Javati because it's just expensive. And obviously I spend a lot of money on other stuff. So one of these days I'll get around to trying it, and I'd love to give it a go and see how it works. But I think that's pretty much everything that I do in the breeding season. Now, you guys have to remember, I don't give this stuff constantly every single day. You have to pace yourself. If you give all of this stuff all at once, all the time, besides like the grits and everything, you're going to poison your birds with too much stuff. So more is not better in this case. So, all right, guys, I am curious if there's any products in here that you like to use, or if there are products in here that you can't stand using. Or if you have another product that you think I should give a try. There's another one. It's called BioPro from Vitaking. I had someone highly recommend, a couple of people highly recommend that one. So I'm thinking about doing that one, but we'll see. So, all right, guys, comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for our next one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for joining me, guys. Take care. All right, I just wanted to show you guys again. I just scraped. This is maybe 10 minutes old. That's hard to see, but it is a firm, dry, bouncy, rolly little dropping. Super healthy babies. Couldn't ask for better health this year.
Staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want.